everybody. My name is Laura Pickens. I'm an American living in Russia, and this is my series of great conversations. Each week, you sit with me and get ready for my day of clients where I am a speaking coach. And I get to talk to amazing people, and I collect the most interesting and inspiring and full of pain and full of love and success. And I take all these stories and I combine them into a recap for you about what I talked about for the last week with my clients. Let's get this look going and talk about this week's women. Hi, everybody. It's time for another Get Ready with Me. This is what we're working with today. It's a little hard to see, but I have a little bit of a bruise where me and my child were playing in bed and he pulled something down and a big metal IKEA book holder fell on my head. So we'll be playing with that. Also, my favorite foundation, I can't find it anywhere. I can still find the concealer. This is Catrice True Skin. I really like the foundation. All I have left is the concealer. I haven't found it anywhere. I suspect it's one of those things that's just disappearing out of Russia. So I have some other foundations. I'm going to be doing a darker skin tone than I am, and I'll add some contour to even it out. But that's just for the makeup side of this conversation. I really want to name this series Great Conversations because I proclaim myself to be a master of conversation. And I feel like, that's a bold statement to make. How can anyone really call themselves a master of conversation? It's nothing I learned in university. I have no certification. I have no programs. I have nothing to sell when it comes to great conversations. What happened is I have been an English teacher for a very long time, and what my students felt that they needed more than anything was more speaking practice. And if you've ever been through the exam process of having to speak an exam, it's terrible. You're given a picture, you're asked to describe what's in the picture, you're given a graph, and it's very impersonal. I mean, I could see real world applications, if you have business or something, but if you just want to talk to somebody, there's just not really good practice in any curriculum, any books. It's hard to teach how to be good at conversations, at least through a textbook. So what I did is I started researching on my own what makes for great questions. There's a lot of things out there like great questions to ask to make people fall in love with you. And I started digging deeper into pre-made questions. There is a board game in America called Table Topics, where it's a bunch of questions that you can bring out at a party to get the conversation rolling. And I just started learning how to ask better questions. I honestly have no idea how I could teach it to other people. But I will say, one trick I have learned about having great conversations is by being a great listener. I don't think you can stumble into a great conversation if you haven't learned the art of truly listening to the person you're talking to delve into their world, to feel what they feel, because it means that you have informed questions and you participate in the conversation deeply as opposed to just asking surface level questions. In the realm of great conversations, let me tell you about a conversation I have had multiple times in the last few weeks. That really is not my color. We're going to make it work, don't worry. So the vast majority of my clients are women, and they're successful women. And what I mean by success, there is not a good definition of success that applies to every person, except it's how they define success. And I think that my clients all would say that they are successful. And I think that they can say that because they've worked hard, they have failed a lot, they're not afraid to fail again, trying to reach their goals. They set goals, they meet them, they set more goals. And I think that is common amongst my successful clients. They are all in different spheres of work. Some don't work at all. Some are global, some are local. Some make a lot of money, some don't. So the things that combine them, well, they came to me to help them with their English speaking skills. So that means that they do speak English. And it also means they're concerned about self-improvement. And they value it enough to reach out to an expert to help them become better. So that right there is a common factor amongst all the people I talk to. And the conversation that I had repeatedly over the last couple of weeks is about frustrated women. It's no secret that I'm going through a divorce. It really does color a lot of my life, in addition to some other things I've gone through over the last year. And it becomes a common speaking jumping point and how it compares to other people's struggles in their lives. And a common thing I keep hearing amongst all my women is how they're taken for granted. The women I know, the women I talk to, the women I know are spectacular. I am in awe of the women I know. One thing that is true amongst all the women I know is our schedules are slammed packed. The women I know have to take vacation seriously because they never stop. The women I know put almost everybody higher than themselves on the priority list and have to remind themselves to put themselves back on top. And the women I know are smart enough to know that they should be at the top. But here's the thing I hear the most, or at least I heard the most this week. They are inspiring. The women I know inspire the people around them. It's so fun talking to these women because I inspire them, they inspire me. We leave our conversations feeling like we can take on the world, and then we do. And then we report back week after week about the accomplishments and the things we were able to do and the dreams we were able to realize. And we feed off the success of each other. There's no sense of jealousy or competition between the women I know. We are inspired by each other. But amongst my women that I know, the people that we can't seem to inspire are the people who are the closest to us. And I thought it was just me. It was one of the reasons for my divorce. I remember saying to my ex, nothing I do impresses you. I would be so proud of myself. I would come home and tell him about some accomplishment I made, whether it be big or small, but it was important to me. And I would be greeted with, even though I felt my success, I wasn't getting any feedback from my partner. I was doing what I thought were amazing things, but it's so deflating to come home and not inspire the people nearest to me when all day I am talking to amazing people, inspiring them, and they inspire me, and come home and I'm nobody. This video, if I had a target audience for this particular video, it would be to the men of amazing women. They need you to be inspired. Do you know how hurtful it is? Women have to learn how to love themselves. It's an uphill battle from teenage years into your early 20s, always feeling like you're not good enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not rich enough. And there comes a point in a more mature woman's life where they learn, oh, I'm actually pretty awesome. And it's awakening, it's an understanding. It's a beautiful place that women can finally reach. And I wish it upon every woman to reach this place where they can learn to love themselves exactly as they are and celebrate themselves, but then their partners along the way get left behind, and they're once again questioning themselves, am I really so awesome? If the person closest to me doesn't even see it. Ben, do you know how we try to inspire you? I can't speak for everybody's personal situations, but I can speak to mine, and I can speak to the stories I've heard. We women don't want to be nags. We don't want to be your mother. We want to be your partner. So at least in my situation, I wanted to lead by example. I wanted to show how life could be. So when I was bragging about my accomplishments and telling him how I did it, I was hoping I would inspire him to try something himself in his own life. There is not a phrase I hate more than this one. Zachem. What for? For all the things I did, I was greeted with the idea of, what for? Why work harder? Why take the risk? Why grow? Why try? Why fail? What's the point? And I'd always hoped that the results spoke for themselves. Every year, my life is a little bit bigger, my circle a little bit wider, my skills a little bit deeper. And it comes from doing things over and over again that I don't know why I need them. Like yesterday, I learned how to do programming with scheduling and webhooks. Never really wanted to know how to do that, but now I know. What for? Because it makes my life better. So instead of being met with, I'm proud of you, or wow, that's really cool, or tell me more, like a good listener would, I was met with, but it's not just me. It's all my women that I know. And there comes a point in many women's life when they stop trying to impress, either because they've given up on trying to impress you, or they stopped impressing themselves. And then they stop trying. Either they stop trying to bring you into their amazing world, or their amazing world starts to crash. It is a truly terrible thing when an amazing and wonderful person gives up. A good belief system, for me, starts with, if I meet a woman, I know she's amazing, until I have some evidence of otherwise. Even if I don't particularly like her personality, or if I think she's rude, or I think she's not very intelligent or mindful. I do know that I do know she works her ass off because she's a woman. And all the women I know, I don't know a single one who gives up. I don't know a single woman who says, I just can't do this anymore, so I'm not going to. Every woman I know says, I can't do this anymore, but I have to, so I'll find a way. I'm not trying to make this video anti-man in any way. I am trying to tell you how women inspire me. So if you are someone with an inspirational woman in their life and you're taking my message seriously and you're asking yourself, how can I show my woman that she inspires me? Well, let's go back to the beginning of this great conversation and tell you how great conversations happen by being great listeners. What I had wished for myself and the people who surrounded me, who made me feel less than average at best, was I wished they had listened. And when I told them about my thing that made me smile, that they had smiled too. I wish that they had felt what I felt. And they would have felt what I felt if they were listening with their whole heart. So when I told them that I learned programming to solve a really big problem I had, that they would have surprise and pride on their face. I would love to hear, oh, wow, I've never done anything like that. Or, hey, can you show me? Or when they had a problem, come to me and said, Laura, I know that you are capable and wonderful and I really need your help. And I'm very grateful that I have you in my life. I would have loved to have heard that once or twice in my life. I have people now in my life, not just the women I know, but a few men I know as well, that understand the value of being valued and being inspired. There's no fear of ego or worry that I might know something more than they do or I'm better at something than they are, because I'm not trying to compete with them. I'm trying to inspire them. So these people I have in my life, they look at the things I do and go, ooh, I could do that too, and my life could be better. And then they do it, and then their life gets better, and then we celebrate each other. There are a lot of men in this world, and I dare say this country, who find powerful, successful, and capable women as a turnoff. Honestly, if a man is intimidated by a strong woman, that speaks a lot to his own weaknesses and his own self-doubt in himself. And yet, I feel like that's a very common behavior in this country in which I live. Men that are intimidated by capable women, I think, are scared that it will be discovered how incapable they are. I don't like to give unsolicited advice, but if I was gonna give some, I'd say to the men and to the women who feel intimidated by other people's success, as we say in America, get good. Improve your skills. Focus on yourself. Be a better version of yourself. Surround yourself with people better than you so you can be inspired by them. And have gratitude for the people that pull you forward. And you will be better. If you want to be a victim and say, why can't I be better? Why do they have to be better? Then blame them for being smarter than you. Look down upon them because they have money and success. I have no doubt that the quantity of the values I have and the wide range of knowledge and wisdom I have is because I have carefully listened to so many amazing people and taken from them their inspiration of what they are amazing at. I only want to be surrounded by the most inspirational and inspiring and loving people that I can find. People that want to hold me down, people that want to judge me, people that want me to feel bad because of my own successes. We're not going to have many good conversations. And I wish you well. Be inspired and be inspiring. See you next week, guys.